Appreciate y'all coming. This week, big conference game. It's also coaches to cure MD. And so the Duke must have history is something to highlight this week. I was really proud of the effort that our team played with against Baylor. One of the things we talked about all week going into the game was how everything we did had to be precise. It had to be deliberate. Every rep that we took in practice, every play that we made out here to win a game like that, we had to eliminate penalties. We had to eliminate turnovers. We're down to 3 penalties for 21 yards, but one of them was on a big play, big reception that Zach Wright had made that got called for alignment in the backfield. Those are the kind of things we have to eliminate. Even we score a touchdown with Nate German, we hard count Baylor, but there's contact, so they take that touchdown off the board. Derek Dillard's big run, it's a red zone penetration, but then we have our first turnover, only turnover of the game. Those are the plays you have to eliminate, and we do that going in. Once again, great effort. Baylor has a fantastic offense and defensive football team. Our defensively, so proud of the young men. All of them played about as well as they could. It was highlighted defensively with Emmanuel Ellerby in the official game sheets. It said he had 14 tackles. When we went through it, it won't change. We're showing his 18 tackles because of his play also on special teams. Alex Lyons had 12 tackles. Linebackers really played strong. Secondary, that's tough. There weren't any wide open receivers. You had JT Blassingame had the interception. And, they have great receivers. You can be running with them. You're man-to-man. They were making plays. We've got to just continue to work and make our share of plays. The defensive line up front, I thought they were really solid. Zach Abercrombie had his first official sack, which was really proud of him for doing that. Offensively, we rushed the ball effectively. We had 234 rushing yards. We had average 5.6 yards a carry. Derek Dillard had 124 yards rushing, but they just locked us down at receiver. We couldn't establish any type of passing game. Their defensive backs they dominated us on the routes, really rerouted us. Really, anytime there was a ball in the air, you think you're going to go 50%, and we didn't. And you dream too of seeing zero coverage because those are usually some easier completions. We didn't complete any. And we had, like I said, Zach Wright's long pass called back, Nate German's called back. So when we had opportunity, we didn't really take advantage of it. Special teams, Hayden Tabola made his first field goal of the season. He's been perfect on all his PATs. So we just got to keep getting better. We play North Texas this week with Coach, Seth Luttrell's new. Has a very extensive offensive background. They try to throw the ball down the field. They have a quarterback that's a dual threat. They're strong at receiver. They're strong at the running back. And defensively, they're 3 down, and they will blitz you. They'll come right downhill at you. They're 1-2. They lost last week to Florida, but they competed very well in that game. And we just have to worry about Rice. We've got to keep getting better every week. I think that's what we're doing. We need to get a first win. This is an important ball game. It's a conference game. It's at home. And we're trying to get our first win of the season. But like I said, our players are playing extremely hard. They're very coachable. They're doing everything that we ask.
Coach, you go back and look at the film overall, the corner turn for this team, compared to the Western Kentucky game and the Army game. Do you feel like?
Well, I think so. Now, the teams we've played so far, Western Kentucky is 2-1. They've only been beat by Alabama, and Army just beat UTEP 66-17. So we've had some pretty good opponents. But that was what I've said all along too. We just got to worry about us and keep getting us better. And I think that's what we're doing, is getting Rice better. You look at our offensive line has given up 4 sacks in the first 3 games. A year ago, they'd given up 10. We're eliminating penalties. I think we're on the right track. And as long as these young men play with the effort that they've played with, we're gonna win our share.
You might have spoke on this on Friday, but Nate German, the quarterback, we'll see a little bit
Yeah,
more of that. Yeah.
you will, you know, and I should have brought that up. Nate, that's our out package, and he was a young man that had been nothing but a quarterback for us until we got so decimated at receiver last year. We moved him out there, and then the last game of the season, he had a shoulder injury that had to be repaired. So he missed all the spring, he missed a lot of the summer, so we haven't had a lot of opportunity to play him, when we call that the Al package. But he's a very gifted runner, and he's a gifted passer, and we'll continue to grow that formation. You know, he's one that can put extra stress on the defense.
So David, I guess with both teams from Texas, the heat of a late afternoon is going to be an advantage for neither team.
No, I don't know with a kickoff at 5 o'clock how that's going to be an advantage for either team. That's the heat of the day. And, you know, when you kick off in the heat of the day, that's one where you really make sure your guys start hydrating early, and you make sure, you know, they're drinking as much water every snap that they can drink. And you got 4 quarters to play, and it's going to be hot when this one's over.
Coaches, North Texas look a little different than they did last year, or is it kind of the same people?
Well, there's on defense you see a lot of the same names, but structurally they're different. They're a solid football team, offensively and defensively. They have the young quarterback from Oklahoma that it looks like they've settled in with. That's the dual threat guy that throws the ball effectively and runs it effectively. You know, it's one where we've got to play like we played last week and continue to eliminate our mistakes. You know, we really tackled well in space. And, you know, last week on some of those 4th downs, we missed some tackles where we could have stopped some drives that we missed, but a lot of that's Baylor's athleticism. But, you know, we're just, like I said, we're getting better every week.
What was done better to get Derek established, the running game?
You know what, he was just, the offensive line was performing well, and he was finding the seams and pressing the heel lane. He was, you know, he's just one of the most coachable kids that there is week in, week out. You know, he's been that way since he's been here. He's going to work hard. He's never going to give up. He's going to continue to give his best effort. You know, he looked a lot more explosive in this game. He looked, you know, on the longer run, he really, I mean, he came, broke a tackle, and looked very fast.
Coach, the interception from JT was the first interception in like 219 attempts.
Yeah,
or something.
that's exactly. You've done your homework.
Yeah.
You know, that's something we have been stressing, turnovers all camp, all week. Also, Destry White had 8 tackles and 2 forced fumbles. We just got to start getting those. We're getting the ball on the ground. We're not getting it. But I was glad to see JT step in front of that. I think you saw the sideline, you know, really explode, and momentum went our way at that point.
Coach, I know you said you just have to worry about yourselves, but the caliber of your opponents thus far, Baylor, Western Kentucky, Army, has that helped maybe prepare some of these guys for, you know, maybe the conference schedule coming up here?
Absolutely. You know, I've said before too, the offensive line right now, we're starting a redshirt freshman and 2 sophomores. And the D-line, we're starting 3 sophomores. Those young, JT eBay, another sophomore free safety, those guys get better every rep. And every rep they take on a football field, they're going to improve, they're going to get the experience, they're going to start getting the mental and physical reps they need. Game moves fast forward, and every play they get, it continues to slow it down, and that's why you're seeing them start to make more plays. JT eBay, a free safety that struggled at Western Kentucky, you know, was really solid in this game against some very swift receivers.
Coaches, the term must-win being thrown around.
No, it's a conference game. We're going to give it our best. I don't think it's a must-win. It's important because it's conference. It's important because we need a win. I think you start putting the must-wins, and you don't need that. You just need to go out there and play your best.
Coach, any thoughts on the mob band and what they did? Did you catch that?
Obviously, I didn't catch it. I was
Well, not then, but yeah.
inside. You know, think the university issued a release, which I have not read yet, but until I see it, to see what the release was, I'll just defer for now. Trey, so who you want next, Chuck? All right, Trey.